say, we love the map 3s. We couldn't let the earlier series be the only one here. Decimate really stepping up here in map number 2. Take us to Sunset in our lower round 3. Elimination on lines for both of these teams shift, and we are going the distance.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like if we were to just take the foundation of all of what's happened to these first 2 maps, both teams have said, hey, we're going to let maps get through that we haven't played yet just to see how it happens. Well, didn't really work all that well for either team. But hey, I think the bigger news here is that Decimate are really showing their true colors here and what they're able to do. Again, we had moments of that versus YFP, but getting into a map like Breeze, lots of variability that kind of comes out of a number of different hands. That's kind of the more impressive part because, yeah, at the end, it's the Zan show, but leading up to it, not having the op in hand immediately, there were a number of other players that were starting to get involved, and one of the main reasons for success that Decimate were able to have at least, you know, a good shake at the first half.
Yeah, I think for me, the first half was characterized by Decimate poking on the actual extremities at the A side, at the B side, and not having good success, and that's why that streak starts for Passion Project. But then they go into a bunch of mid play and get so many entries. They're setting up everybody to have good success in those early fights. They're taking advantageous fights every time, and Passion Project was not able to handle that. So I think that was a really good game plan and a shift about something that they identified early on in the game, and it paid huge dividends.
What I love especially about Breeze is I didn't really feel like we got to see the promising Decimate over on map 1 on Split that we're expecting, but with this one being prolonged and just how everyone was stepping up, we really got to see those fundamentals, and I think fleshed out a little bit more from what we've gotten to see throughout this tournament, which is exciting. I want to see these teams flourish. I want to see them prosper. There is definitely some big step-up moments from Passion Project here, but I mean, at near the end of things, when you have a Decimate that's just on a roll, Zan really heating up here on the server. I mean, like, a shift, like, what can you do? Like, Zan was just going crazy. That one shot, that flick up in the air on the jet, what do you do?
Yeah, it's just, it's a key to success that Decimate have been able to showcase a lot, and they even were able to do that a little bit versus Shopify in their opening series when they did play Breeze. There were a number of good operator kills that came through Zan on that series as well. It just comes down to getting to a point where the full team can feel financially in a spot where they can afford to bring that to the mix and then hold it. You know, kind of harkening back to what we said in map number 1, it's not very often that you're going to get this Passion Project team into an eco advantage where they drop that favor. This time through, though, there was a shift in that economy. Decimate able to earn the op, and then, like we saw, the last 4 rounds back to back to back to back, it was just the Zan show popping off. So it is a big key to success. Get them the op and let them tee off.
I do want to show a round that actually exemplifies how that shift happens, right? Because in map 1, you saw rounds like this go out of control. Here's an eco attempt from Passion Project, right? We have one hero rifle on unstable, and then the rest of them kind of just sheriffs. And it starts off really nice, just running through the mid door, one lurker in A main, throwing a dart, they get the sight, and this is a fantastic recovery here from DCM. Whereas on Split, for example, these types of rounds would fall out of control where it becomes economically unviable to stay within it. So really, really nice play from Carry and the other players alive in this Rise in particular too, in the double doors, being aware of what's going on here, what setup there is and what the win conditions are for Passion Project. So being able to put down rounds like these and recover them go huge in favor of actually getting some money in the bank for Zen to get that op up online.
Yeah, and you know, the casters were talking about it a lot. It just felt like Rise's impact, even though the stats at the early stages was not necessarily something to write home about, but you kind of look across the assist numbers and what kind of damage per round we're getting. Yeah, you may only have half a kill per round essentially on average. Maybe the cast percentage isn't as high as you would assume, but hey, the utilities landing, getting assists, and more importantly, there's a lot of damage being tallied. Even in Split in the loss, I mean, you're essentially averaging a kill and a half worth of damage right there essentially per round, but just not able to finish things off. And then we get to Breeze, and it's kind of a similar story to where, yeah, the impact of Rise is being felt all around the map.
And that's the step-ups that we need, too, when we focus so much on the duelist, these little flashy shots sometimes, but it really is the team game and being able to set up the team. Maybe you're not having the highest kills on the board, but the impact, I mean, that just gets felt throughout the server. And I'd love to see this team play just coming together there. But let's take a moment and also talk about our flashy duelist here, because honestly, we got to see that flash in our map 2 here. That is a Flash that we missed here in the first map of the series, Bala. So I'm glad that we got to see this showcased.
Yeah, we were looking for it, and actually it was the only win condition we could really point to on this Breeze map. And the Unstable versus Zen duel in this case, not the Jazzykins versus Zen duel, went hugely in favor of Zen. I mean, look at these multi-kills. Like, it's over and over and over. Situations where, you know, they're under huge pressure is... I mean, there's two knife kills right there while they're getting shot at, and then this is like the final round that just was nail in the coffin for us looking at the flashy duelist again, right? It's that moment, but look at the difference, right? Split,
Crazy.
8 kills overall, right? That was a rough map for them, and we talked about the impact that they were trying to have across the map. It's just not the same as some of these other maps. And then Breeze, open, wide, you get that up, and watch them fry. Like, look at this, 200 ADR is up there with the best of the best in Game Changers that we've seen so far.
13 engagements, the first blood engagements that came through for the side of Zan. So just again, just getting in the mix. Yeah, on Breeze, 13 of the 21 rounds, Zan was involved with the first blood engagement.
That's
Unreal.
insane.
That's unreal.
Oh, I gotta look that up. Hold on. What?
What do you do? Which is so crazy. You have to go double check for yourself. While you're looking that up, we'll head over and look at the last map that we have in this series. And I'm quite intrigued with how this one's going to be going, because looking back at the history of both of these teams on Sunset, it's quite different. We've gotten to see both of the teams, but quite different looks coming out here. Shift, Passion Project, we've only seen them the once, whereas on the other end, Decimate, there's been a lot of Sunset for them, but it's not always the greatest.
Yeah, sure. I think the conversation starts with Passion Project. Like you mentioned, only seeing it once, but it was an overtime win versus FlyQuest Red very recently. So that's obviously going to be one of those things you look at and say, if your Passion Project is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of situation. And you're right, when it comes to how they play it very differently. Fade Rays on one side for Decimate, where you're looking at Jet Sova likely on the other. And it looks like that won't change. So, you know, you've got a pretty similar setup for both these two teams. It just comes down to who's better prepared, in my mind.
Yeah. I look at Unstable being the Jet again, right? The duelist for this team, rather than Jazzykins, where the, you know, some of the Rays maps, it's more jazzy. And then I also look at the Sova here. Lazy Lion is going to be anti-Sentinel. You've seen them play the Sentinel on a couple of different maps and being such a good anchor, so that one's really interesting too, right? How are you going to be able to deal with the trips that go out from carry? And then the thing that I think about for this map from Decimate is they are very aggressive at taking extremity control, and you see that time and time again with Zan. So I want to see if Passion Project can match that by mid-rounding very well, right? Understanding, okay, they're pushing here, that leaves this spot open. They're pushing over B main, that leaves A main and elbow open. So that if they can pivot in those types of calls, those types of situations, it should be easy going for them, unless, you know, Decimate slows down and changes things up.
Yeah, just to kind of hit on it again, just looking back at the YFP game from yesterday, you thought 13 first blood engagements was high. Zan had 18 first blood engagements, went 9-9 yesterday versus YFP. So wherever Zan commits to, that's where they're going to end up going more often than not.
I mean, we got to see that difference maker from Zan in the previous map. We'll have to see if there's a step up here again, or if it's a Passion Project that can try and take that win. Both teams trying to stay alive in this lower bracket. Map's ready, though, and it's time to head on over to our casters, Mimi and Ender.
Thank you very much. Yes, elimination on the line here. Only one more spot in the top 3 for this first Game Changers of the year. And Christy, we're moving from Breeze to Sunset. I think we can expect a pretty different style.
Oh yeah, the last game was about individuals having their crazy pop-off rounds, and we saw it from everyone. Unstable, Zan, Lazy, the list, all 10 players had at least one crazy round. Sunset, way more about your set pieces, but if I want to take away anything positive from that last game from Decimate, first of all, there was a lot. But the main thing on their attacking half was how they played through mid and their fakes. Their fakes absolutely blew up Passion Project. So I think coming into this map, mid again is going to be very, very pivotal. And I'd love to see similar mid rounding from DCM here.
Looks to be a brawl in mid to start. Both teams with 3 players ready to go in this area.
Right there.
It'll be an instant flash up for Decimate. For the Fade Hunt to get in. The worry, though, is this re-clear with the Breach Stone, with Unstable pushing forward. They're out. Deep position in mid already.
That Breach Stone went full horizontal across bot mid, and Unstable isn't slowing down. They're not even sending utility through, and this is what's unexpected, is continuing through here. There's a Breach right to your left. There's a Breach right there. Look to your left. Unstable gets the kill. And now Passion Project, a big advantage here in the pistol.
Maybe it won't be that different after all. Already chaos to begin this one. But it's going to be a flood retake on A. Players already out front. Sight to cage soon to fade. The brawl soon to start. Lazy Lion on the first kill. And a flick to the smoke as well. 5v1 now. The round is over in a blink. And Carry is stuck alone.
I hope none of you were running back to your computer with a drink in hand because you would have just spilled it at the action out of nowhere. That was completely ballistic from Unstable. Walking down mid. The fact that it takes us a few seconds to get the kill, eventually it's there though. And Passion Project, you love to see those little defensive set pieces of aggression. They're going to have them for A main, they're going to have them for B main, they're going to have different looks to go heavier through tiles over there. It'll be 1-for-1 at the end, but it's Passion Project walking away with the pistol.
What a ridiculous round from Unstable. A stun I combo, or excuse me, a stun Sovadar combo to get back into mid, and then walking all the way through their opponent's smoke into bottom mid, and flicking around onto a breach. Just a wild series of events.
Hello. And imagine if the breach does not cast Concuss there. We might be sitting in that position for a long time.
Yeah.
It's only the fact that they wanted to hit the site that blew up the position of Rise.
We've seen some dangerous eco rounds this game. This shouldn't be one of them. Just one sheriff for Zan.
You've said
And
just one, insert a lot of different guns throughout the course of the day.
a lot
And the
of
just
these
one's
rounds.
been pretty effective so far. I don't know if I can trust you anymore, Mimi.
It should be fine. Also said that one before.
Enemy tagged.
It should be. Surely there's no way. And then there's a way.
Not gonna entertain it yet. For now, Passion Project, sitting pretty.
Nice of you to say.
They are. It's International Women's Day. gotta be nice.
Love the
Be
support.
nice every day,
Well,
actually.
Unstable did not make noise jumping away from that one. Ouch.
That's
Okay.
clean.
Playing in that pocket very nicely. Now the Cypher cam from Carry tells them that all of lane up till shop is uninhabited from Passion Project. No one's living there.
30
They can
seconds
still
left.
creep
There.
forward.
Here.
It's just a Stinger and a Ghost on this side, actually, so not the worst odds for Decimate if they can get in here, but they might want to jump up into shop and catch out Lazy Line. Shock Dart in hand, maybe had the timing to punish into that, but by now Jazzykins has made the rotation over here. We are trying to get a plant at the maximum
down A.
on this round, and bodies are
remaining.
hitting the floor, Mimi. It's an easy one for Passion Project.
Yeah, very clean round there. A rarity in these anti-ecos, so Passion Project getting up to 0 here. Decimate now, gonna have their first shot at the rifle rounds. And I'm interested to see
Whoa!
how they're gonna play this out.
Unstable
As-
buys an operator.
Yeah,
They
round
drop
3.
They dropped the Outlaw to Sabui. I mean, that's why we had the pistol in the last one, the Ghost, was to get that upgrade. Sometimes you'll see players with the money and still not go for it, but basically what this means for Passion Project is they want to seek out early fights. It's very important that Unstable isn't on a passive line. You want to look for those early picks, give yourself the advantage. And if you lose players on the other side of the map, it just turns into a quick save.
Baiting in, unstable. Needs to connect this shot. Fade cap broken.
Okay, now they know.
Yeah,
they might
they're
just think it's an
suspicious.
outlaw, but they know. Someone broke that for a player posted up here. Yeah, they know.
They're aware. The shot will confirm that it's not an outlaw, and in fact an operator on that line. Still, a bit troublesome to deal with, because they had to invest a lot of their util to get that initial position in B main, but I love the reset here.
Yeah, right now Lazy Line just sent a drone that cleared out all of tiles, so they know there's no Cypher lurk in that area. There could be a Cypher outside of main. Unbeknownst to them, it's actually Carry left as an insert in B in case that op tried to walk back in forward to a pretty far line. Door's going to be broken down, Paranoia in, and it doesn't touch Unstable. The shot, perfect from Unstable. Quick kill and backing away.
Getting the value out of that operator. But here comes the attempt to save the round. Misu is going to make a play, walk up into mid. 2 angles to worry about. Do they pick right? Yes! That's a big kill onto Power Pixel. But at this point, so invested, have to kind of keep going here. A fight against
Wow.
Lazy Lion, but on the other side, that
30
op is down.
seconds
Now the
left.
focus back on Misu, who's trying to actually secure A. They've called their teammates back to this site, and now they have a 1v1 against Jazzy. That was the supporter, not even a member of the site, who's taken down, but the trade is good.
It's a bad read, though. 15 seconds left, and there's 2 players already coming over to the site. Passion Project guessing wrong. They think it's a B hit. Now, all of a sudden, maybe there is time to get the plant on this site. Down to 5 seconds. They must stick this plant through, and the position of Emblua trades 1 for 1. It's all on Rise now. Fighting forward. Has to pull the tracker out. A flashback onto the line, out around the corner, and gets the job done.
Rise in the clutch, comes out on top. Decimate just barely stay in that round. That operator investment is gone.
It's crazy because, like, the call to come back into the A site off of Misu is a wild one. There's so little time, and it actually causes Passion Project to early rotate. They don't stick their ground because they assume, surely our B site is open. Surely that's where they're going. And because of that, they had to come through that smoke. They can only 1-for-1 trade on the opener. An unfortunate read from them, but I think they were reading the better call that the attackers could make. Somehow the round still ends up going Decimate's way due to the good play of Rise.
And talk of Rise, stun set up towards B main in this round. Is Zan ready to follow that up once this one-way falls?
Don't forget, the operator was lost in that round because they played it for a win. Could not be recovered, so PowerPixel doesn't have a gun. Bought 50 armor, just so that if a teammate dies, they can go ahead and pick that one up. But we'll see now how Decimate get back into the space. They've left Carry down bottom mid. There's no drone for Lazyline to re-clear that space. We saw that in the last round of the attempt, so Carry being posted here is very safe.
Everyone walking back towards A for Decimate. So this trap will be activated. There's a Cypher Cam, a breach done, but it goes a little early, and Unstable has to back away from this one. Another flash, maybe to take a second duel, a second chance at this fight. Can Unstable get the entry? Or are they going to be forced away? It's the second option. All the way back into A they run. Aftershock tries to stall. Support is coming, but it's going to be late. The pressure of this round is on Unstable. A flank up mid, though.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Carry. Right in the back is Jazzykins. Jazzykins finds the kill, and they're still not on the site. 15 seconds. The clock is running out. Unstable, Sabui, Lazy Lion. List out the whole team. Passion Project are coming up with kills.
They lock it down. Clean hold of that site. It seems like a lot of these rounds are honestly coming down to the late round 4-1s with one player lurking up mid, and it seems to be very reliant on what value they're getting.
100%. That time, because Jazzykins was a little quick on the rotation over, Carrie did not find that full 10 seconds she needs to walk from top mid into shop and go for that backstab attempt. And that's going to put Decimate onto a very poor buy. They've got big ults coming up. Ult economy looking very good for Decimate, but this round, not so well.
Faster pace to it, though. Stun for both sides into A main. Aftershock for Zan. They're going to have to go on a little bit of a fight here. Actually, somehow Emluo gets off by that Aftershock, but Zan wins that fight. Perplexing things all around, but PowerPixel's keeping it secure with a 3K already in this round and ready to do more. Maybe a little ace action towards the flash. Swing is perfect, and now the 1v1 for the ace. Beautiful stuff from PowerPixel.
Yeah, why not a little ace action? The iBuyPower ace coming in. Quick work of that anti-eco. Good flash a flat dodge of the flash. There we go. I figured it out.
Got it. 4 ults online for Decimate this round. It's going to be a big swing one for them.
Button. All right, team. Let's use those ults. That's the first thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Second thing is probably, because now we've shown a few slow round paces. That seems to be how they want to play out the majority of their rifles, which makes sense, especially when you're looking at the rounds they're winning on their attack back on Breeze. There's a lot of that, feints, those fakes coming back in. We've seen some of here once again. Nice shots, well done. But then on the eco, they throw away their fast piece. So I don't know. I feel like Decimate could go one of a couple directions, but I almost like going for another fast hit coming out of the eco, because a lot of times teams, to increase variance in their play, the eco rounds will be when they throw away their less preferred strats. In this case, I'm thinking that's Decimate going for a fast hit. But hey, it wouldn't look too bad with some of the ults they've got online.
Yeah, they haven't really attempted towards B either, and since they are running this Raze comp, they have two big tools to deal with the trip, with the Aftershock and with that Raze nade, so definitely a possibility to pick up the pace over there if they want, and that is where they're posturing to start this round.
They also, of course, you've got the Rolling Thunder and and the showstopper in a couple once that comes online. That's a big power, ult hit too. But you could also combo things like the Nightfall plus the Omen ult to go very deep back towards Boba and get a good line.
Let's see which ults they choose. Which cocktail they concoct.
Did you just say which cocktail they concoct?
Yeah.
Face your fear.
That's
I
not.
thought it would sound good in
Anyways.
the moment. It didn't. We're going to move on, and we're going to move into the B side. That trip not broken, and, well, Zan's going for a bit of a ride, flying up into the air, but not punished for it. Finally, though, that's a shot connecting. Unstable, I think, in mid deals with the lurker.
Yep. No lurk. Now they can focus all their attention on the site. Unstable has the knives to go into as well. Decimate fighting in deep. Rice supporting Zan to look for this. Back end up. Zan brings her down. And that'll be quickly dealt with as Misu gets a couple of kills as well. Misu stuck out in the open. There's an ult back into spawn, so it's Rise all on her own. Emlua way too far away from this fight.
But the Rolling Thunder's going to main. And
Oh
Emlo,
my.
did they have time for that? No. Sabui, very aware. Passion Project win the retake.
So they decided to use every ult, I think, at the end of that, apart from
On
the
both
Cypher.
sides, I think.
Maybe the Omen ult a little bit too deep. The Omen ult was cast when maybe there were 3 or 4 players still alive, and that would have made it more salvageable. But as soon as that ult is stuck and no one is on site to be found, you can go ahead and, wrap that round up. There's no way for Emlo to get back over there in time.
That lurker getting punished, I think, a big tipping point in that round, too. Consistently, Passion Project have been dealing with these lurks from carry. Thus far, 1 in 6 on this Cypher, not getting that value.
Probably means that carry takes more of a contained position or goes for the very late backstab instead of just being bot mid and trying to walk out there. If Unstable is comfortable to just post up in mid like that, you can't walk back into that operator.
Zan has a Raise Rocket, double satchels available. They're going to run back the B hit. I think the camp may have spotted a player there, but now they know for sure. With that Fade Cat coming in, rotate's already underway. Once it executes, going to come through. Have to wait for the satchel to break something. It's a little odd up into the air, and the connection is there. Zan somehow didn't die in all of that, but Sabui will now deal with those problems.
Spike planted.
2 connections, looking for more. Aftershock forces her out into the open, and that smoke honestly helps her to get away with her task. Shorty at range. Okay, that's a bold one, but Power Pixel actually the one to win it instead. Passion Project looking clean on these B retakes.
Sabui is just owning on that angle. All she sees is about from the nose to the hairline of those players, but she is finding the headshots so consistently.
I love that instead of talking and waiting for a teammate, she just decides to swing with the shot.
Yeah. Why not? And it's interesting because she's playing a lot deeper in that Boba position, which gives her less head to actually hit, but I think it makes it a lot harder for, a player on that site, underneath the steps there to actually fight back against her. It's a really comfortable line she's playing on, and she is having a map. I mean, both her and Power Pixel, they've only died 1 time apiece.
Decimate gonna slow things down this round.
Bye-bye,
Going back to that mid default.
Yeah, that camera has been getting broken. It's been thrown there a bit too consistently. Decimate working quickly into market, so your read of putting fast plays into B has definitely been paying off. This time Jazzykin stunned up, blinded up, and has to jump away, but quick to walk back into the space with Sabui. Flash in, Zan dealt with. Emlo trades out and finds both. That opens up the B site. There'll be a Hunter's Fury on the other side, but a couple of shots dodged away from. Then to clear tiles. I love the little switch up, but it doesn't hit its mark.
Yeah, Carrie's lurk can get a lot done here. Power Pixel walking into her, a lot of noise being made, and Carrie's good for it, even calling in the troops from market. Only an op for Unstable now.
That's such a good response from Decimate in the post plant. I think Carrie's position may be given up a little bit, so calls in Misu, as you were saying. Jumping on out of there, we're okay. But I think the hunt may ensue now. That operator should not be allowed to live. Obviously, money for Passion Project is looking very good, so actually I've changed my mind. Optimal play is no longer to kill the op because Passion Project are rich beyond belief. And Decimate, not so rich. They must save, put it in their little savings account, get their 2%. It'll start
Rates are a lot
stacking up.
higher right now on high yield savings account than that.
Okay, nerd.
Bad reference.
My bad. I'm sorry, I don't business like you do. I do lowercase business. You do it with a capital B.
It's like in the high 4 points. I
What
don't
is
know.
4 points? Like to
4-point
Gryffindor
XX.
to
Be quiet.
the basketball
6-2. Passion Project lose a pretty critical round there and are gonna hit a timeout of their own.
What do they talk about? Do they also talk about the ults? I don't know.
They're talking about.
Do
the
they
top
wonder
right.
what's at the bottom of this pit? What's the goop? Do you think it would be nice to like swim down in that?
You're off the goop.
Like
You
how
don't need to go
viscous
in
is
the
that goop? Are we talking high or low viscosity? Oh, or don't humor me.
Tough crowd tonight.
Really tough crowd. You're off the improv team, Mimi. You're done. You're kicked. You can do
Yes,
maybe
and?
there's a career in
No.
stand up for you, but
Nothing.
no group theater. You're done.
Wasn't planning on it really. All right. What's going on in this game?
Well, Passion Project are kind of owning.
Except
Decimate
for
did
the
just
last
win
round.
around. Yes, it's true. And there was really Passion Project trying to regress into that market space, but Decimate were well supported by a flash from Rise. I don't think it's doomsday just yet. Passion Project also did just run it down into tiles, I think, to deal with the lurk. Done a very good job of shutting down that lurk before. But also, I'm a little surprised that Decimate keeps throwing this camera into A lane. Of course, it's very nice to see the early line taken, but it just gets shot immediately. And Unstable's up was not revealed by it. So they can go ahead and post back on this line.
Unstable pushing back in, missing. The shot goes over the right shoulder of Misu. But the reflank is here. Lazy Lion gets one. Power Pixel helps out in that one too. Zan has traded, puts Power Pixel in a tough position, getting overwhelmed from 2 angles. Needs to get something done here. Carry though, deals with the problem.
These kills coming at exactly the same time. It's a 2-on-2 now. Right now, Passion Project split. There's a paranoia for Sabui. Spike has yet to be planted, but they are creeping.
Carry has a flank here, has the perfect position to deal with this one. But they don't know where Jazzy is. Late through spawn.
Spike
Walking
planted.
up, the cam not broken. Spots Jazzy now. They're aware. Crossfire is good. Jazzy, can she be better? Can she break through this one? That Cypher's backed away, so maybe a 1v1 possible against this race if she picks the timing right. And she did, but the shot wasn't there. Zan instead for 3, and Decimate, out of their opponent's timeout, finally build some momentum here on Sunset.
It's a great post plant there from Zan. Even the hits. Like, Zan is running down through elbow, but then Passion Project send one player after another, 3 total players to fight lane into A main. Zan runs all the way through elbow into sight and then shoots those players in the back of the head. Gets it all done on that raise, and then plays smart in the post plant too. Slowing it down, not fully committing on the plant, knowing Passion Project will come to her. A very nice round as Decimate start to build back here a little bit.
Haunt clears mid control. This is back to what we saw in a lot of those early rounds from Decimate. They're sending 4 into mid, they're taking this space, they're pressuring market. This was pretty successful in the late rounds as long as they were really getting their Cypher in that position to thrive and reflank late.
They're really anticipating Passion Project re-clearing space into mid that they've seen a few times, sniping out that Cypher player in tiles. Mluo's actually got the operator, has been hard holding this space, but because she's got the op and didn't throw one of those smokes very deep in mid on the right side that would threaten a walk up, you know, against the solo player. Right now it's just Lazy Lion there. Passion Project don't feel so uncomfortable about any space being taken in mid.
Omenalt gives info that there are at least 3 players in B main and confirms his hit, but with that rolling thunder coming through, there was really no way they could contest. Actually, that smoke is so late. Sabui gets a shot on Zan. I think a bit of a mistake there, but Carrie's trying to make up for it. 1 kill found. Trade, though, is good. Passion Project maintain control.
And this late rewrap will be everything from Misu. She's going all the way around. Smoke in main doesn't create the one-way, so there's actually room for Emlo to peek above this and see into back sight. They can spam the spike as well. First player comes in the crosshair, but the shot is not found. Now Passion Project looking to swarm. Door broken behind them as a paranoia goes into main. Market player dealt with. Everything is falling apart. It's only Rise against 3, and Jazzykins finds her 2 to get Passion Project back into 7.
Passion Project, all right, looking a lot stronger on the retake there. And again, the pivotal moment of the round comes back to these mid refights when Passion Project is pushing back through and getting rid of the Cypher. Carry has been getting destroyed in this position. In pretty much every round, Passion Project is winning.
And that time it's a different look. It's the breach and the jet running all the way out through A main and wrapping behind tiles. Every other time it had been a fight coming in from top mid. So a different idea going into that one. And it punishes. So now Decimate, the way they're calling this round, they're one off Showstopper, one off Fataled. They can grab that orb, probably the Showstopper, and look to work back into the site. This time camera not broken, and the fault line committed immediately as well. They're looking to go into this space very, very quickly. It's the Nightfall that will be grabbed, and that'll leave blood trails on the site. There's actually going to be none. And the whole time, Passion Project are setting up 4 players on the flank.
That's really good info. But what they don't know about is this flank. And look where Cypher is positioned. Carry. Oh,
Carry's turn.
Going away from these rounds so many times. Now with her chance, she only gets one. Sabui too astute, so here comes the next phase of this. Push towards spawn. Jazzy swinging with the op. It's 1-4-1. Good enough for now because Rise is active on the site and finds a kill on the flankers. Now these defenders separated. Sabui having to walk into sight. Can she get past Emluo though? Can she get her chance? She needed. Here's footsteps on either side. A haunt in her face. Sabui, what can you do? Nothing. Emluo rips her out of the round, and Jazzy just doesn't have time, doesn't have an opportunity. Decimate winning the post plant.
Decimate's A post plants have been impeccable. Honestly, like Passion Project fall off the site. It was their weak side with the Cypher setup, and they were going to play 5-on-5 retake. Even the triple flank goes pretty okay. That could have very easily been 3 kills for a carry. But no, Sabui, too aware, trades it out evenly. And yet, it was that aggressive space taken. Once Decimate realized there's 3 people on the flank, they can take a little bit more space. Take those forward fights against solo players falling in from Passion Project. That's what goes so well for them. And the cherry on top is they didn't have to use the Showstopper. They've got that ready, and they're going straight into market with it, Mimi.
There's a player up top. This is a really tough angle to hit with that Showstopper, and Zan doesn't even get the opportunity. Unstable opens around and just keeps fighting. It's non-stop action for them.
Okay, we're just gonna do it like that. A little shut down the Showstopper, get your kill, close the door. Now the Rolling Thunder locks Rise in place right in the corner. Nowhere to go. Unstable still on the prowl as Passion Project roll into B main. They bring the Thunder and take 8 in the first half.
The way these teams are bouncing rounds back and forth is so entertaining to watch. Okay, Passion Project though, coming out much better that half. It's 8-4 going into their attack. And Unstable playing like that is going to be a danger to Decimate.
One enemy remaining.
I think the side swap very welcome here. Didn't feel like Decimate had a real answer to deal with all the different looks Passion Project had for shutting down the lurk. Even that round, that was the first time a player had swung out from market to fight into carry bot tiles. Decimate, their defensive half is going to be largely predicated on this A main space, right? When you're playing the breach, the fade, the raise, a lot of the times you want to just set up that one way over there. There's no Viper Orb to break the line, so they can play for that space very easily. Doesn't mean their mid is a little bit light, so that's exactly what Passion Project are going to take advantage of. Mirror Pistol from the first half, moving up in this mid space, smoking the right side, breaking the trick, moving on through, but it's a re-aggress from Decimate. They're through the smoke, still looking for a little bit more. Spike out in the open, and Rise completely surrounded, continuing to push back in for Unstable. They fall, Zan to trade, and it's just Jazzykins left.
But this is doable. A reflank through B. Rise on low HP. And a lot of time to work with. Emlo is holding the angle. And Jazzy is spotted. Now Decimate can just hold this line. It's kind of impossible to win at this point. Damage coming through, and it's just a swing into her death. Decimate win the pistol.
It's a great timing from DCM pushing through that smoke for the fight, because if you actually look at when they make it through there, it's the second Unstable is turning around the corner, you know, to fight back in over towards Boba. So the first player that cleared out all the spaces through, the second and third player, they feel super comfortable on Passion Project. But that's when Decimate strike. Rice and Mizu doing a very nice job pushing through that smoke. It's a dangerous angle to fight into. But if you're able to nail the timing, it can be one of the most devastating fights a defender can look to try to break that split hit from an attacker.
Dash towards elbow. Price does have a flash for Zan. But no one's there to receive it.
Dash, no kill, we freeze. Getting ult orb. Now they're just asking themselves, do we keep going or do we go look for a B main orb as well? Because Power Pixel's got 3. Not the best stacking they could have asked for. But if they continue in here, it will still be a stack for the defenders. And it's a refight as well. Look at that. VC flying around the corner. Even when they run out of bullets. Zan's right there from elbow to mop it all up. A flawless round there.
The cleanest anti-eco we have seen in centuries, quite
Cheers.
possibly.
I want to see hips, and hoorays in chat. Just like olden times. I think that's what they said.
Indeed. Indubitably, even. 2 rounds the difference now. Decimate, still very much in this game. Remember, a chance to play against CLG Red to secure your spot in the top 3. Passion Project is a team everyone expected to be there, but Decimate have a chance to break through.
And Decimate have read a B main opener right here. Rise and Zan ready to fight. Vandal in the hand of Zan, but no, utility out in hand. Unstable, running this play back from their last series. They really like this quick aggression. This time forced off with a couple of flashes. The counter is in, and somehow it's Zan that falls through it all.
Caught in the crossfire. It is a tragedy for the Rays. And it'll be a reset for Passion Project, with the Lurk working so much space in mid.
Both defensive trips are to defend against this Lurk. Right inside market and top mid. The door's even closed here. If Passion Project want to play this round, they'll need to break the door, bust down at least one of those trips, because otherwise it's so easy for Decimate to hard lean onto that A side of the map. We've got 3 players here, and that fault line is ready to go to assist the fight down lane.
Passion Project, they think they've sold a bit of a fake here. They think they've pressured enough towards B, but Decimate have not fallen off. Everyone's still here. And everyone is ready
That's
to
a
hold
meaty
against
fault
this
line.
hit. Yeah, it would hit 3 if they stay in their current position. This fault line from the other side is good. Not good enough, though. Paranoia fault line into the site. The util combo is perfection, but Rise has really made something of this round. Picks up 2 kills, now a 2v3 in the retake.
Here.
I mean, even just getting some kills to get those rifles up. Ooh, Rise switching the rifle over to carry, even on low HP. Not going for Bogdan's Law on that. We'll see what Carry can do with it in hand. Rise around the corner first, falls instantly in Sabui. Quick on the response. Passion Project, line him up.
9-6 up now. This next round is going to be a pivotal one. It's really what decides how dangerous this half is for Decimate. They win here, they're straight back in it. They lose, it really comes down to a comeback. You're looking at likely an 11-6 scoreline. And those chances of winning this match, of continuing this great run they've had already in Game Changers, start to lessen.
Neither of these teams going down without a fight. Decimate looking for their first real aggro piece of the game. It's a teleport, interestingly enough. Instead of a satchel or anything like that. Low investment, all things considered, but they've gotten so much space. Passion Project fully aware that they've seeded that up. Oh my god, and they saw ahead! Zan goes back into the fight. Both players knew what was about to happen. But Zan has a full faith in her ability to take that fight.
She's just so bold. That dart and backside, though, pushes Nisu away. That's set taken for Passion Project, but they're just trying to flood in. 1-for-1 goes to trade. Rises down, Lazy Lion. Have they done enough to make something of this?
Lazy Lion awoken from their slumber, getting active with it, but Zan is too. Zan for a second on the round.
One enemy
And now it's a
remaining.
Cypher one-on-one. Carry and Jazzykins. Both full.
Cage triggered.
Jazzy threatens taking so much space with those cages. It's Carry that's crept forward. A trip to stop her in her tracks. Back onto the spike and seen. Jazzy takes her time. Back in again. Carry gets it to half somehow. How does she get it to half? Not pulling away from it. And now she's got a chance. The shots aren't landing. Jazzy back in and Carry gets it done.
How? How is that possible? Carry sticks the defuse. Despite, what, 2-3 swings coming through, gets it halfway and wins the round. That is a miracle.
This is a round where confidence literally wins for Decimate. First you have Zan backing up into that fight once again in mid, and it ends by sticking. There were 3 jiggle peaks as Carry was sticking it to half. And she's like, yeah, okay, you're not really fighting me, are you? No, you're not sticking to it. I am. And then wins the fight at the end. That is pretty.
I don't like this banner.
Oh, that isn't. Yeah, can we adjust that? Could we say maybe I don't know, harmonious break?
Thank you.
Something happened. Oh, lovely.
They
That's
adjusted
good.
it.
Yeah, it's a 20-second harmonious break between rounds, extended by X amount of seconds. Who knows?
A little bit of an investment here from Passion Project, buying 2 rifles into this round. I mean, they have the Rolling Thunder, too. Did they want to make something of this?
I mean, Power Pixel, you remember back on Split, it was 11-5, I think? 3v4, no guns, and they sent it? It's 9-7. And they've only got 2. Might as well. Using the smoke in here to break the one-way, up drafting onto the line. But Carrie is there to support her Omen.
Seeing the ghosts of Omen pass, can't find the real one in the chaos. Okay.
Hold on.
Jazzykins eliminates Emluo.
Mimi, it's a 4-on-4. We've still
And
got
they
the
still
Rolling
have that
Thunder.
ult.
We're retreating all 4 players to main. It's planted for a rewrap. I think Jazzykins might go on that journey.
But that ult gonna show these players in main, and they're gonna commit into the Power Pixel an ult. That'll counter out the raised rocket. Stan gets no connection. Damage on the Power Pixel, but they only have a classic, and time is being bought. Rise needs to hold this halfway, and that means Decimate need to win this fight. Power Pixel gets one. Classic Rise is holding, but forced off, just not in time. Decimate obliterate them on the retake.
That is money utility going back into B main right there. And it seemed like Sabu is a little slow on the reflank. She thinks there's no way they full stick here, right? That would be crazy. But hey, we've seen it. We've seen it all today. Decimate do a great job on that one and baiting out the Rolling Thunder. So it's again one of these rounds where they are using that huge ultimate, and it's for nothing. And at the end of it too, I guess they have the knives, so it's a quasi full buy for Passion Project, but losing the ult is a hurter.
And look what Decimate have now. Nightfall, Rolling Thunder, lots of tools to keep this comeback rolling down that road.
Thunderously, you might say. Jazzykins has taken a lot of space up towards A, and the setup isn't good for an elbow lurk. You'll notice the camera only really sees into lane. That's where the tripwire is too. So really what Carrie is doing is when she's not in camera, just holding this very deep anti-lurk position to make sure no one can get all the way up. Passion Project have actually slowed things down just a bit, not knowing that this is the setup, of course. Knowing that A side has been weak, especially when Raze and Breach have been seen over towards B. Unsable trying to make the most of that, dashing up in a shot, but doesn't find anything. We're back to a 5-on-5.
Haunt going back towards A. An ult invested as well. Decimate putting everything into this round. Rolling Thunder, double satchel. Zan only has a classic, but gets it done. Had a rifle that whole time. Didn't need it till now. Their moment to get this done. Jazzykins, a kill, and blinded in the smoke is unstable. They get her own action here. Sabui on the trade. Stick not able to come through, but the fights are being won. Decimate. They haven't lost the fight yet, and Lazy Lion is alone. A swing towards the spike. A halfway stick! And Lazy Lion with the clutch.
Lazy Lion is nasty! What is that? Coming in at the end there after using the Hunter's Fury to delay so much time to activate that lurk up through mid. The Red Bull clutch load, no less, for Lazy Lion. I mean, it was a crazy round right here. Excellent shot. And then getting the spam through the box is just perfection.
And look what that has done to Decimate's economy. A stinger, the best they could buy.
Wow, that is a quick move. Double satchel from Zan up into A main. Nobody's home, though. Passion Project have a freebie site.
No one here to stop him. Does the Sable keep pushing, though? That's the real question of this one. Suspicious of the players towards spawn. Supportive util ready, but unstable. Doesn't want to fold to the pressure. It's all 5 players off site for Passion Project.
It's not so easy to play 5 players in main. They can reposition either with a rewrap or an Omen ult and it's a plant 4 market. That's not so bad. But they've got to use a ton of utility to fight back for the space.
Tap on the spike. 5v5 brawl, and Rise is sticking. We've seen this one before. Rise is holding. Someone needs to stop her! And it just doesn't happen. Decimate have robbed them in broad daylight.
There's 2 players in mid that whole time. It's an anti-eco, and they're playing 3v5 all through main against the
5
retake.
players.
I mean, Decimate goes so quickly because you have to know as soon as there's no resistance on site and there's 5 players live, you know players are re-wrapping. So getting on the spike, going for the stick, it is the exact right call, and it pays off beautifully for them. We just keep having ecos, Mimi.
And it's the second time this half a stick retake like that has happened.
Ay.
Oh, these B post plants have been tragic for Passion Project. As soon as I was telling the story of this slipping out of Decimate's hands, Passion Project let their own lead pass them by.
There was an attacking cage that was supposed to not really give any cover for a planter, trap them in a box. But the counter cage, the smoke on top of it, that hurts. Passion Project can't be losing rounds like that. Now using their second time out of the game. Decimate still holding on to 1. The weird thing is, you call a timeout like this, and yeah, I think the main takeaway is we need to play more forward on site. We need to fight for space. We need to catch them as they're trying to retake into us, especially when they're playing all off site like that. Play for some market control. Fight back into that area. You cannot allow them to walk onto site that quickly, or they'll just full stick.
Or honestly, even just fight into Boba. Set your jet up on that angle initially. You cannot let one of these double initiator comps fully set up for their own retake and just run you over, or you will be dismantled. B main control again. And little paranoia. Zan ready to swing off of it. They can actually fight this, or just get the Omen out of there.
Passion Project are going to ask a lot of Jazzykins in this round, I feel. Stun line, fighting back in here into B main. Emlo is going to get out on just 70 HP, but just looking at their guns, Power Pixel having the stinger and whatnot, they're really hoping to find something into mid, but with that door closed, there's not many fights for Jazzykins to actually take unless they walk straight into her.
This position doesn't really give that much. The Trip's fully guarding mid still. Are they going to try and fake B, go late A? They're making a lot of noise here. Sabui doesn't have ult. What is the call?
Passion Project have not done a good enough job of early round breaking that trip. Now they see it, and they can break it if they want. Jazzykins decides not to. Will probably back up, then bust it down before falling off that line. Actually bring the rest of the team
into mid. Come back through mid and split.
Yeah, it's a market split for
sure. And this is a great call. No one on the B side. It might just be another 5v5 post plant. Have they learned their lesson, or has Zan gotten ahead of it? Fight available, and the last possible shot is the one she finds.
Looking foolish until the last shot, and it looked money from that. A quick reset, and another one for Zan. Jazzykins will end up dealing with her, but Decimate, the players just continue to come on in. Unstable has to get out of market, help out their teammate on site, and they do get the first kill, but Emlo is just too good. It's a 3K, and we're all evened up at 10.
What a retake yet again for Decimate. It really looked like Passion Project were doing everything right in the calling, but there's no smoke for Boba, and no one's watching it. And Zan takes that opportunity.
It's another situation where I think the macro calling was pretty sweet, but yeah, when shots are hitting
I mean, the micro is too. Look at that aim.
But I feel like Passion Project are calling, or that round called a better macro game, but obviously lost inside of the micro. Like the timing of breaking the door, breaking the trip in mid, right after putting a lot of utility towards the A side was good. But now it's just the hero rifle on Unstable.
They have another hero round with Breach Ult. Surely it's not another one of these moments where they're using that.
I mean, if you use it on 10-10 and lose.
But if you win it, that gets you back in the game. Re-clear for B main. A little bit of a new look for Decimate. Totally flushes Passion Project out.
All Passion Project are doing is finding out where is the util stack. Where's the breach, fade, raise. They're always playing together. And that means A site is very light. There's not going to be players on site. It's always a deep alley position from carry if they've clued into that. So they can really take all the space up quickly through elbow, get onto site, and get an easy plant for 5-on-5.
The issue has been the post plants, though. So many of those rounds have slipped away. And Passion Project have a rifle forward. Remember, Unstable, the only rifle in this round for Passion Project needs to get something done. They'll take a fight, and they're going to invest this ult yet again. They need to win the round now. Carry, Misu on the reflank. Connection for a double off of Misu. Emlo on the trades. Jazzy alone, no gun. It's over. The ult is gone. The round is lost. Decimate take the lead.
It's crazy because I feel like every time we see that ult used, Decimate have played around it so perfectly because they're taking that fight so deep towards spawn into alley. And as soon as they see unstable, they fall off that line. They play so back, so at maximum only one player's ever getting hit by that. And then they can refight, get back into that space. A great fault line of their own to fight in as well. It's Decimate on 11. Decimate, who are trailing 8-4 at the half, who lost map 1, who had to win Breeze to force us here, and who are now 2 rounds away from being a top 3 team in Game Changers.
Sees nade into main. And mid control for Passion Project.
Passion Project, their pivot is looking for this early mid space and dealing with the door on market, dealing with a tripwire top mid. They have waited way too long to manage with that, and it's allowed Decimate to hard stack a little bit too much. Similar to a round like this, although interestingly, it's Fade solo stacking this time. Decimate felt they were a little bit too readable the last few rounds where Fade, Breach, Raze were always playing together, so mixing it up, but are they really mixing it up when it is yet again just another full A retake? This game is just a challenge of A retakes on repeat.
Misu won't be able to contest here. It's another 5v5 retake. This story has been painted so many times, and for Passion Project, it has been failure after failure. It has to change this round. No flanks in the picture. It is a good, honest fight towards the spawn side. Util being invested. Cage will stall for a moment, but the Haunt gives information. Power pixel damage. The Util coming in. Decimate in the site, and they get a kill for free. Trade there from Unstable. Tap on the spike. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. That'll buy time, but can it buy a round? Jazzykins taking care of Decimate, dominating. Retake after retake. They just can't lose in the 5v5.
Decimate are doing it. They're on match point here. 12-10. And again, it's just perfect utility. Power Pixel was trying to play up Generator, but no, there's a Nightfall, there's a Stun, there's a Paranoia. The drill from Rise's Breach is the one that delivers the final nail in the coffin. And from that, it's just perfect play together. Great spacing, flooding back in from Alley. And just one more to get them into that lower bracket final.
6 of the last 7 rounds were 1 retakes for Decimate.
Get out of my way.
Wow.
6 opportunities lost to close out for Passion Project. The team everyone expected to make it to top 3. The team has so much pressure on them to succeed. Can they save the game still?
Passion Project have 2 guns and knives. Emluo's smoked off for now, but it will be another A retake. This time, Rise and Zan both 1 off of their critical ultimates. Passion Project cannot afford to give them kills, or this series may be over.
An ult towards spawn.
Sees 3.
That's information given. And the retake underway. Paranoia the first to enter. Fade Cat spots nothing. Zan has been electric in each one of these retakes, and they will continue that trend. First kill is there. The trade is quick, and Passion Project this time coming out on top of the scoreboard. 3v2. And the util is great. They've shut down the retake, and they've won their 11th.
That was a gorgeous pivot in the post plant there. Previous rounds, they were playing way too far off site. This time, they tank up 2 players on site with the Paranoia and then use the Breach util from Power Pixel to get back into sight. And because Decimate are all coming through that 1 lane back in alley, they're able to shut it down with the aggressive utility from Passion Project. Swing back onto those lines. This is what I'm talking about. We've got a couple players off site, but they keep fighting forward and taking every single fight inside that choke point in the center of the screen. Carrie's late fight from Shop was the thing that was supposed to bail Decimate out of that position, but it fails to. Jazzykins was just too ready for it herself.
So a timeout here in the ultimate round of regulation.
I think the read from everyone here has to be that Decimate will switch their setup and do aggression in A lobby. They've had so many setups with breach, fade, raise in B main, but it's almost so telegraphed that now both teams are also thinking there is no way that that is what actually happens in this round. It's too obvious. Zan has an ultimate. There's a rolling thunder. So you start thinking defensively, okay, maybe we could do some kind of an early tiles dive, but do attackers dodge away from that? Is all-inning off the start of the round too much? I personally think it is. I would rather see a weak side A setup like we're seeing now, heavy on the B side, and then you fight with all you've got without giving contact fights. Raze and Breach cannot die without using those ults.
So many layers deep in the game theory to think in these final rounds. And both teams have made their change for the 24th.
Yep, those shock darts have been consistently dealing with the tripwire in mid. It's actually, the money's not great from Decimate. A Stinger, a Bulldog, a Guardian. There's only the one trip from Carry as well. Now that's broken, so it's a retake camera that stops any sort of potential lurk. But Decimate are almost fully relying on those ults.
All eyes this round have to be on Rise and Zan and that ultimate combo.
Yeah.
That's the checkmate. Their way to close this out in regulation.
Lazy Lion also 2 off of the ult there. So if they creep into A main, grab the orb for themselves, get a kill, that could be a factor. That won them around much earlier than half. The A retake simulator, we are back in it again. How much util do the attackers actually use on this hit? They've still got 2 flashes.
This has not been broken.
No.
Carry has so much
they have
info.
no idea. They know the site is being abandoned because of Rolling Thunder and Raze ult.
So look how they
snap
adjust. Yeah, ult into main this time. Zan adjusts where they fight, but isn't fully secure in knowing that they're off-site. 5v5. So many times this round has gone the way of Passion Project. Can they get it done this
They're
time?
sticking.
Decimated,
They're
sticking.
sticking.
Carry is holding. Carry isn't stopping. The Hunter's Fury is too damn late.
Win.
Decimate. 13-11. Eliminate Passion Project. They're top 3 in GC.
There is absolutely no way! How do they keep getting away with it? Decimate advance, and it's because they don't once fake. They stick on the spike every single time. And they knew that Passion Project was playing way too far off the site, looking for another rewrap. It's echoes of that B post plant on the E. Over again, this one thing. And Passion Project failed to adjust to it. And that's the difference between being a top 3 and a top 4 team. Passion Project are done, and Decimate have a chance. They're going to be going to the lower final against FlyQuest.
And what a world it is to see this team top 3. Only 2 of their members have been able to even make deep runs in Game Changers before. For some, it's their first real shot on a roster like this. Who is this competitive? And in the debut GC for this roster, they make it to top 3. They have a game of BO5 against CLG tomorrow, or excuse me, against FlyQuest Red tomorrow. I mean, it is just a wild run that this team has been on.
It absolutely has been. And I don't even know how much stress was going down in that game. When so many rounds, like Breeze, everything was 1v1 at the end, down to the wire. And then this game, it was sticking to the plant, having full faith in your teammates. But Decimate did it. That camera was beautiful for them. It forced everyone off the side, or it let them know that no one was there. And that is how they get it done. From the start of the comeback to the end of it, it was the full sticks.
We just witnessed some history being
Crazy.
made. Huge congratulations for Decimate. That's the game done with, but you'll want to stick around because an interview with Decimate and the desk coming up after this.
keeps delivering. That was the most incredible series. That was the most insane game 3 that I've gotten to see. That was honestly incredible. Decimate with the upset, knocking Passion Project out of the main event and moving on into the lower finals shift. I don't even have the words. I'm still shocked.
Yeah, I think we're all a little bit low on the vocab and lexicon for that one. I mean, the first 2 maps of the series were a lot of kind of like moments shrouded in mystery because one team either hadn't played the map or the other. But this one, we kind of knew what we were going to get. Comps came out as expected, but the results were anything but. And for a lot of reasons that are not necessarily pretty. And, you know, Ender at one point in time was having some alliterative fun, asking about like what does the PP stand for in Passion Project. I'll tell you what it doesn't stand for: post plants. I mean, hello? Like not once, not twice, not 5 times, not 6 times, but 7 successful retakes. And it's not just in the fact that they were retaken, it's in the fashion of which Power, Pixel, and the crew just like didn't really give themselves a chance. It was, you know, the one round in particular is kind of the one that nearly gets us to an OT, where Decimate just blocked the front doors by running forward with pistols and just forcing these gunfights. It's just to a point where you're going to look back on that if you're Passion Project and say, we really shot ourselves in the foot a lot. It's just, it's just wow.
I mean, I think about that last round. I think about the cam being on the site the entire time. And Lazy Lion, I mean, setting themselves up for success by falling off and playing the ult. But ultimately, the kill just doesn't come in time because everybody else on their team has fallen so far back, and it happened over and over and over. I mean, overall, the game was even if it wasn't for that, right? 3 out of 10 post plants, 7 retakes successfully for Decimate. And I mean, that tells the story. They played fantastic. I think Decimate, despite the fact that I think Passion Project was reading them quite well, especially in that first half, they were still able to barrel through in a lot of these instances. So, I mean, hats off again to all the players on Decimate right now. This is a major rise up to the top of Game Changers right here. This is top 3 for some of these players who have never made it to a main event. You know, this is a really, really nice thing for some of these, especially Carrie and Zan, who come from basically BC Series 3 was their first time they made it to the main event. It's such a good story in comparison to some of these other teams that are constantly coming up to the top, just a recycling of other talent, whereas this is really, you know, a mix of both of those things.
And it was just this incredible fashion to see it done too, because Decimate, it was called out at the beginning of the main event. Like, there was some fundamentals there that were looking really, really good, but you had to see them fleshed out more, the team to be together a little bit more. We are in a transition period. There was a lot of teams really just coming together, still learning. And Decimate, I feel like they've definitely proven through the shift that, hey, like, they didn't peak through the qualifiers. That wasn't like a one-trick pony. Like, they have a couple layers, and I'm actually really excited to see them move on forward and see the rematch from FlyQuest that was back in an open qualifiers, but we now have like basically 2 completely new teams now.
There's just so much that they can look back upon and feel really good about and try to use that as kind of motive for what they do tomorrow, whether they come into the picks and bans or just what they want to do setup wise. I think that, you know, the map pool is going to be tough to go into and try to put yourself at an advantage because of how deep FlyQuest Red is. However, there are good moments here to where you can sit there and say, yeah, we can just trust that this is going to happen on a day-to-day basis, because it wasn't just Zan every single time. Sure, a lot of it did come from Zan, especially when it mattered the most, but there was a lot of good team coordination and a lot of good kind of playing off each other to allow some of those post plants to even gain some favor in the first place, let alone successfully be able to fully retake.
I've got to give massive credit to this Decimate team. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a tough task, right? It's a best of 5 against FlyQuest, right? That's going to be the biggest challenge yet, but huge credit. I think especially for Zan, a player that we, kind of looked at it in the first map, right, on Split, and we said, wow, this wasn't the performance that we were hoping for, and then it just popped off in that second map. So, I mean, look at this again, right? First half, 6 kills, 11 deaths. It's basically the scoreline we had on Split. But then you end with 23 and 19. You end with almost 300 ACS. That's star power in the making right there. Being able to flip a switch and not just think your head into your hands. That's really, really nicely done from Zen. We've highlighted them a lot today, but at the end of it, deserved, exactly.
Especially too, Zan, when we're looking at the retakes, we go back to this fact there was this 7 successful retakes. I mean, Zan and their utility, I think, was so well done. I'm even thinking of the one where it's the nade to then push people off the spike right into their crosshair. I think it was just so well done by Zen and the rest of the team. And Decimate deserve all the kudos in the world for that. And we actually have to go talk to them as well and head over to our Verizon post-match interview with Isu. I'm so excited to talk to you after that win. That was absolutely incredible. 13-11. I just have to know how you're feeling right now.
Honestly, I'm just so grateful for my team. And, you know, we had a really big talk today about kind of like just overall kind of just like, sorry, I'm like really nervous right now. But we were talking about how like to just like trust each other more. And I'm actually so grateful for my team. They trusted my calls so much today. Like I was heavy calling today. And I'm just so grateful that they were able to trust me and everything.
I mean, we got to see that going into the whole series, but I specifically want to talk about that map 3. 7 successful retakes going on there. I mean, there was fantastic calling done by you. I just want to know, like, how well practiced was this? Was this, like, for the moment, like, how were you able to get this result? Because that was incredible.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit for it. Obviously, my teammates are just amazing, and they're so individually talented. Like, I'm sure you saw, like, we took a lot of inspiration from Sentinel. You just fucking stick that fucking bomb, you know what I mean? Someone's got to get on that shit, you know? And, oh, sorry, am I allowed to swear? I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Fantastic victory. Deserved. Speak your truth there.
But
so
yeah,
good. You deserved it.
I mean, as we said at the end of the game, we're rich. We're rich now. We're up. You know, we got a lot of points for the championship, and yeah, my team is just amazing. We've improved so much in this span. I think of like the past 3 days. I'm just so grateful for them all.
I want to talk about too. I mean, you're talking about that. Hey, you're just stick the spike, and it feels like too, this team, you have so much confidence, even just in individual peaks. You're going up against a team of absolutely incredible players, and nobody from the team backed down whatsoever and wasn't afraid to make these peaks, wasn't afraid to just push on forward. I want to talk about that team confidence going on forward, because this is a tough competition here in Game Changers. Is this a confidence that you've built as a team, or is everyone just that individually skilled? Like, you know that you can get that shot.
I think it's a big mix of both. I think a lot of the times our team tries to adapt the mentality of like play like you have nothing to lose, right? Like don't get so like emotionally invested, and like just, you know, at the end of the day, like you gotta just shoot their head, you know what I mean? Type shit. Like yeah, and just peeking together and like using util to peek and everything is just very important.
And yeah, at the end of the day, just click on your head. Why are you polarizing? No. I love this. I love this.
This is my first interview as me. Last time I remember I did an interview, I wasn't me. Technically, I was Toast.
Oh,
I was like doing like a press up.
Yeah, let's talk about that history too, because when we're talking about the fact you're going up against a credible team, going up against Unstable and Lazy Lion there at that point too. I mean, there is the split apart here. We're getting to see these different teams form. So how is it with your new team and then going up against your old teammates?
I think it was kind of funny in a way that it was like, oh, I'm going against like my old teammates. But I think, I don't know, I respect all of the people like we played today as just like, I respect them as competitors, and you know, I don't know. To me, I just see them as my opponents, regardless of who they are, right? And then I don't look at the scoreboard or anything like that until like I just see victory or defeat on my screen. Like I'm just so locked in, so zoned in. But I mean, it was fun just, you know, to see my old teammates in the server, you know, get to play against them rather than like with them. Just, you know, just to see how things have changed, and it was very fun.
Definitely glad you had fun. And I love the mentality, just the way that you speak about the game and just everything about that. I want to end off here talking about the strides that Decimate has made as a team, because this team got signed right before heading into the main event. And when we're looking at the power teams headed into this, I was definitely really excited to see the potential of the team. But when you're looking at the power teams, the conversation was around Shopify Rebellion, FlyQuest, and Passion Project. You've now gotten that upset. You're in the top 3. What has this journey meant to you and the team so far?
We're definitely very happy and we're very proud to, you know, make the distance on a lot of good teams throughout this tournament. And we're just very excited to, you know, showcase what we can do.
I'm definitely excited to see that match up in our lower finals against FlyQuest. Misu, have a fantastic night. Thanks again so much for chatting with me. Deserve the win. Great
Of
stuff out
course.
there.
Appreciate
As
it.
for
Bye.
us, thank you. Bye. As for us, I'll say hello to you two again so we can be wrapping up our day. What a good interview. I love the mentality. I love the confidence. I just want to go back to that. That confidence, like, that's some good stuff, Paul. That's what I want to see out there on the server.
I'm a fan, Misu. That was awesome. That was really nice. And they played well. I mean, they played so good. And talking about the calling too, talking about how much she was microing in that instance too. That's the sort of thing I really love to hear insight about, because you could tell. I mean, you could tell how the players are moving around in the server, the different types of things they're doing. So mad credit. That was awesome.
Yeah, and just the trust of the team, too, to be following through on the calling. It's still a pretty young team, but to have that trust and be able to pull out the wins like that is just so important, and we got to see that through the series. And with that win, that's going to be Decimate moving on into our lower finals. Maybe we don't have the most surprises when we're looking at the upper bracket, but this lower bracket, I think, has been such a fun journey. And now Decimate, they're going to be going up against FlyQuest next year, Shift. Last time they played was back in the first open qualifier.
Yep.
FlyQuest take that win. It's FlyQuest doing FlyQuest, but I'm really excited to see this now with how Decimate have grown.
Look, it's FlyQuest took the win with a massive but. 13-9, 15-13 were the 2 maps that they won. And that was about a month and change ago. So I don't know. I think there's a lot to be learned from both teams based on the results they had today. I think for Decimate in particular, you're going to have to try to do some evaluation on what we want to do in terms of having something like a breach on the map. That's kind of what they tried to, I think, force when they were trying to, incognito-ly throw Split into the mix. But I think this is going to be a matchup tomorrow that will be very heavily decided by map fluency. It's going to be a best of 5. So there's a lot of opportunity that Decimate could come through and actually do some work against this FlyQuest red team. I wouldn't sleep on them.
Yeah, I honestly think today showed so much more depth than we've seen. I mean, they played a map that we hadn't seen, and they also proved that they have it against a top team like Passion Project. I mean, yet to be seen for the future, but this is going to be awesome. I can't wait for this best of 5. I mean, it's the story you love to see, right? Going through the lower, actually playing a 2-1 against every single team that they played up against, right? Playing the maximum amount of maps here, and now going to a best of 5. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be all worth it at the end of it.
Yeah, they're definitely paving a super exciting road to what could be a great destination up ahead. Gonna have to see how that series shakes up. That is all gonna be for tomorrow. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in, of course. Thank you, Shift, Bala, and all of our wonderful casters on the day and production behind the scenes. We're gonna have an exciting lower finals ahead of us, so make sure not to miss it. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Standing. One enemy remaining. Neutralized. One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Came through with it again. They know that I got spirit with a pen. Don't know why they try to compete when they know that in victory it's never gonna end. Them in a week, that's why they could never speak. They ain't like me, I take it to the peak. Different type of steeds that I breed. Wheel up on the mic, they won't get one of these. Please, I don't wanna hear no talk from them. I don't wanna see nothing at all from them. They can't do it like me. So all I wanna see really is a round of applause from them. Vibes in the air, we cause it again. Life isn't fair, but we rode it again. All of my teams being ready for the war, there's no warning for them. Tell them again. I ain't here for one remaining. I just can't do it again. We look at them and got one of them. They can't stop this child now again. Maybe the champ won't lose it. One day I'm gonna win that again. Tell them again. Tell them again. One again. Tell them again. I ain't here to make up no friends. I just came through yet again. We lot, we never got one of them. Top of the pile yet again. They can't stop this child now again. Reigning champ, I won't lose it. So you know I'm gonna win that again. Tell them again.
I